welcome to Coffee With, and damn, I'm big in that picture. Um, sorry, I've lost 100 pounds since that last picture that popped up. So I just realized how big I was. Sorry, welcome to the Coffee With. We're here with our normal guests, Captain Drew Maurer of the Russell Camp, Jeff Kingdom of the USS Blackhawk, Mark, Ambassador Large for TAG, and Dan, Dalek Operator for Daleks of Orcus / Florida?
Daleks of Orcus.
Okay, so it's Orcus.
Orcus. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to turn it up a little bit now that we're on here. There's the difference. Well. So, what's everybody been up to the last 2 or 3 weeks? Any ones? Any volunteering? Anything?
I think that was either last weekend or weekend before. No, it was last weekend. I had Southwest Florida Space Con that I went to over in Cape Coral. And I did bring both Hal and Ren down there, so that was a lot of fun.
So you brought both of them. That
Yep.
had good. Yeah. No rain, I take it.
Thankfully not.
Because I know that was the reason why you didn't bring Hal to Sci-Fi Barca this year. Now.
Yeah, it was just easier to quickly load Ren up or get him out, and I didn't have to worry about him being on the trailer.
And I know in a little bit before that, you joined Drew and Mike at Neutral Zone.
Yep.
Let's see if it works. Everything else has been messed up. Let's see if I can get this to go.
I don't know if it's on, but I'm hearing a sort of ringing noise.
Wind noise?
Ringing.
No.
Yeah, I'm hearing something myself.
Is that better?
No, it's still going.
Now, it's something you're doing. There it goes. It's starting to go away.
What about now?
I still hear
It's still there.
We used to call that birds on the wire.
I'm glad I'm now deaf at certain tones.
Okay.
Well, let's see, the last thing I did it was actually with John and Jeffrey and Robert Valentine. That was the Lego event over at Geezerland.
Nice.
Yeah, the other Empire was literally right across from us.
That might be it. The reduced background noise was unchecked. Is it fixed now?
There
Yeah.
went.
Okay.
Aha. Yeah, I see you found the seat of power.
It's still coming in, but not as much as it was before. Before it was constant.
Yeah.
It might be my fan. Okay. Let's see if I can fix it when it shuts off completely. Okay. That's weird. Why is it setting like that? Hold on. Let's see. There we go. And this is Dan. As we've seen other members of this group in different things. You know, I've never taken a picture there. You just realized. But the best picture is, dang it, I didn't mean to. Is sitting in front of the actual engineering console.
There you go.
So I'll be setting up a TikTok of all the Neutral Zone Studios stuff that we've done over the year and a half now.
Yep.
I know that Neutral Zone will be moving. I did see a thing of filming in July, and I'm like,
Yes, in
Drew, you're
July.
not allowed to go. It was 104 in January. July has got to be at 60 in that
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, whatever Ray winds up with, I'm sure is going to have a working high back system.
Is it
Just for the
the
sake of actors not melting into the floor.
They'll be filming from somewhere between 7:30, 8 p.m. all the way until midnight or 1 a.m.
Oh, okay. If it's during the day, no, that would be bad.
Yeah.
No, the day is going to be guaranteed to bake a cake. So.
For people. Soil and Green is people too. If you go outside, never mind. I'm not even going there. And you said that they might have found a studio near here. Is it the one we were already talking about?
Not in general public, I know.
Okay.
Mhm.
We're not that far along yet.
Okay. So we have the Doctor Who expert here. Have you seen the new episodes?
I did not watch tonight's episode, but I've watched everything up to it. The only reason I hadn't watched tonight's episode is my parents are actually coming from South Carolina, and we have a tradition of watching it as a family. So I'm waiting for them to come down, and as soon as they do, we're going to be watching tonight's. I'm honestly, without giving any spoilers, I've been thoroughly enjoying it so far. The first episode that came out for this season, not the special that they reclassified as being part of the season, but the first one from this run. Not a big fan of that one. I think the episode before the last episode, if I'm remembering my numbers correctly, is my favorite. Or maybe it was the one before that. But I'm excited to see what they're gonna do towards the end of the year. But I'm also a little bit disappointed that they're cutting these seasons so short to just 9 episodes.
Yeah, I wish it
Yeah.
was longer.
After
Is
how
that
many
the baby
decades?
episode
So, yeah.
you were talking about? The one
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
was it the baby episode? I'm trying to
Yep,
get in my mind
that's
because
exactly the one I was talking about. The CGI in it is very uncanny and not in a way that benefits the plot.
yeah.
I myself haven't seen anything past the first episode.
It's interesting.
I promise it gets better after that first episode.
I'm just
I
gonna.
have simply had way too much to do.
This isn't a spoiler, but if you will, because everybody should have seen the specials by now. In the specials, the Doctor is actually now 2 doctors.
Yep.
I'm hoping that somehow in the season, the second Doctor, is he 14 or 15 now?
14.
The new
14
one
is
is 15.
Chudigatwa.
Wait. It was 10, 14. Okay. I'm hoping that both doctors show up in an episode somehow in a regular series. That's what I'm hoping. Because the new Doctor, I love his carefree attitude. It's not as how do I say this? It's not stuck up as some of the older Doctors have been, and it's more playful. And so I'm looking forward to the 2 different portrayals of the Doctor at the same time again, because when they split, that was pretty awesome.
One thing that I haven't seen talked about that I'm really curious about is how they're going to handle the regeneration of 15, and if there being the 2 doctors now is going to somehow affect that. And is 14 also going to regenerate into a different 15? Or what's going to happen there? Does he not have any more regenerations? Because that wasn't answered in that episode.
Now, they never actually said how doctors are, outside of the companions becoming a kid becoming a doctor, how doctors were actually born. So could this actually be the origin of how doctors were made? So all the doctors came from one and just split over time. Would be a pretty cool little twist of the storyline.
So if you're talking about how each of the doctor's regenerations had became who they are, then that has just been regenerated from one to the next, and then the other one just kind of fades into memory. But if you're talking about the Time Lords, then it is obviously known that Time Lords are born. So I feel like this is more of a special circumstance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the be right back in the regular comments. Okay. I thought that was outside, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. And like you said, I like what it used to be 20 episodes. Something I knew it was over 20 for the old series of Doctor Who.
Yeah, it was like 22 or 26. I want to say somewhere around there. And then with the new series, they did cut it down a little bit. I think it was like 12 or something. And now they've cut it down technically 8 episodes, but 9 if you count them reclassifying the special as episode 1 of season 14. Honestly, I prefer when shows have the longer seasons, even if it means that we get filler episodes. Because, I mean, just as an example, Blink is technically a filler episode, but it's also one of the best episodes in David Tennant's run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very happy when they brought David back.
Now I'm waiting to.
He was the fun doctor.
At the end of the episode we talked about, I'm waiting to see the outcome of the research. Because when he, all of a sudden you see on his face, it's like, oh crap, I think I figured this out. And that's one of those cookies that I'm waiting to see what comes of it.
Yeah.
So, we haven't seen any Daleks yet in this series. Actually, we haven't seen any of the old. Nope, none of the old regulars have popped up in the series at all. So it's going to look for, well, they did have the, what was the spin-off show called?
What was the what called?
The spin-off show, because it was the organization that,
Torchwood.
Torchwood, yeah. You got
Torchwood crew did show up. Not all of them, but the newest crew in the second episode, the third episode, something like that. They did show up.
Oh, you talk about Unit.
Yeah.
Unit didn't have a spin-off, but yeah.
But I figured Unit part of Torchwood.
No, they're actually 2 separate entities.
Oh, okay. God, I gotta go back and watch some of those episodes. Okay, next question. Has anybody watched through all of Discovery yet?
I haven't started yet. I am working through Enterprise.
Yeah, I'm. Let's just say I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. It's just that they're not getting another season. This is it. The writers finally found their footing. It took a while, but they did it.
Unlike
Star Trek.
Unlike Game of Thrones, they didn't screw up the last season. Uh, and actually, not to spoil it, but I think that the last episode of Discovery is probably my favorite final season or final episode of any of the Star Trek shows. And my non-spoiler review is this last season of Discovery is truly the example of what the edict should be. You know, infinite diversity, infinite combinations. The fact that they didn't leave out any of the main characters from any, well, you know, not the original captain and the person that's supposed to be doing the Star Trek, not the Academy one, the other Star Trek series is supposed to come up. I'm tired. Black Badges. Help me.
Section 31.
Thank you. The Section 31. Those two aren't here.
Yeah. Enough said there.
Yeah.
She's a good actress.
Right.
She's a great
Those
actress.
weren't there, but the people that they brought back and everything were the main focus on the most of the series, and they gave everybody time throughout the series. So, like I said, the last episode is the best wrap up of any of them that I've watched. You know, it's kind of like if you watched Stargate, the movie that basically wrapped up Stargate. Not Universe, Atlantis / SG-1 wrap up. The one where they were sitting in the ship and kept going, getting older and older. That's what it reminded me of at the end. So, like I said, to me, a lot of people said a lot of bad things about Discovery, but this is probably the best diverse cast and storyline that I've ever seen. And for a wrap up, you can't beat it. It's worth watching more than once. So there's nothing in that. Yeah, I didn't say anything that will change that, but definitely worth watching the whole thing is Discovery. And I know a lot of the old timers that like just STO or TOS does not like Discovery for some reason. And I'm like, okay, the difference is Discovery had a 30-man bridge crew, and most of the original series had 5. So every 4 episodes of the series in Discovery was a different crew from the bridge and focused on them. So you're not used to that setup. So like I said, different setup, and you got to watch the whole thing. Let's see, what else? Any other sci-fi shows popped up this month?
Well, you made a Game of Thrones reference. I know they're cranking up the House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
So that's for the diehard fans of the show.
And
hey, I just want to see more of those CGI dragons. They were awesome.
is House of the Dragon going to be on Amazon, like the first series or season? Or
I think it's going to be on Max.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't have Max.
A lot of their stuff on Max.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So House of the Dragon came out. I know that was Sunday it came out. Trying to think of anything else. I don't know of any of the other sci-fi. I've been rewatching the new Lost in Space. So that's the one I've been watching when I'm not on TikTok moderating for people on my days off. So and you said you're going to Dragon Con. That's in July?
No, that's very end of August and beginning of September. And I am going to be bringing Hal there. And that's actually why I made the Starfleet uniform, was because of Dragon Con last year, an ongoing joke.
Mhm.
Well, one day I will afford to go to Dragon Con. When I played World of Warcraft, the one family that I played with, we joked about her first daughter being the Chinese gold farmer. And her sister is one of the cosplayers. She played Poison Ivy at the beginning. If you saw the Star Wars 6 celebration pictures, her husband was the Joker, Luke, and she was the Leia slave, Harley Quinn. She was the first one, Holly. And that whole family is always at Dragon Con. So I've seen pictures for the last 15 years and watched this kid grow from this big, going to her first Dragon Con with the little ears on, to now she does full cosplays with the family. So I always love watching the pictures coming from Dragon Con. So you'll have to bring pictures and we'll have to share them when you come back, because we do like sharing those. I know August 3rd, we will be in Bartow. We have a booth, and as cosplayers, that wasn't me. We're paying our entry fee because, we'll not talk about that. It's not. It's not something that's in the control of anybody. But Syfy Barker last year was.
I said, or at least not any individuals that we know.
Yeah. Syfy Barker last year was amazing. That's where Hal became a Klingon. And so did Pikachu. So it was a lot of fun. And I look forward to doing it again, because it's just a nice con that that at least the people that run it want to help the community and give back to the community every con. We were talking about this last night on one of the lives, because the other guy, he takes money and helps teachers buy supplies each year. And somebody questioned him on it, and I was like, you don't understand. Some of us, we take our time, the little money we have, and we give back. One of the things I plan on doing is I've been working with a group called humanities101.org. It's an autism awareness foundation. And its main focus is teaching businesses how to do micro accommodations. So that it makes workers safer, it makes people coming into a business feel better. One of the micro accommodations is having earplugs if you know that you have a lot of noise. And last year there was a kid in a wheelchair with a NASA shirt on. And their parents came in, realized that there was too many people in the small room where we were having panels, and left. And I grabbed some stickers and I ran to find them. They were at the food court, and they said, we just can't do it. You can't do sound. Now that I'm working with that foundation, I understand. So this year, my plans are to buy $5 or $6 worth of those cheap earplugs and give them to Lori to put on the booth, so that people can take them for free to do a micro accommodation with the con. I will also be buying some fidget toys, so that we can give them away at the booth, so that will be part of the foundation display we're going to add to our booth. Like I said, a lot of people in my generation didn't even know we were on a spectrum. And talking to the person, Dr. Dutch, I found out that all the stuff that made me not function in school back then, while I'm smart and I can take tests and pass them without a problem, a lot of stuff was an autistic trait. So it's weird finding out, hey, you're on the spectrum 45 years into your life. And that would have changed a lot of stuff if I had known in fourth grade when they told me, oh, you're just bored. I had dyslexia as well, so hey. But those are two things that the camp is going to be donating and having one at our booth, one's going to be at the ticket booth. So that, like I said, somebody comes in and they have problems with loud noises, they can take a pair of the headphones or earplugs. You know, a lot of businesses have actually started doing this. If you go into a business where it's really loud, a lot of times when they are actually helping understanding the noise problem, they actually have a bucket of those free earplugs for people. So a lot of people don't realize that stuff like that makes a world of difference in an autistic kid or a neurodivergent person, because if there's a lot of noise, they might come in because they want to be there, but 5 minutes later, they're like, okay, I can't take this, I got to go. So if a $5, 100 thing set of earplugs helps that, it's better to do that than have them have a bad taste in their mouth because of how noisy it is. So Dragon Con, any other cons between now and then? Because I know July tends to be a downtime for us in Central Florida.
Well, August 3rd, we have BartoCon.
Did I say Sci-Fi Barto? I meant BartoCon. She's tired. Yeah,
Well,
no, it's that's what we were talking about.
Tomorrow.
And,
Which con tomorrow?
sorry?
Mark said he's got a con tomorrow.
Actually, it's at the Oviedo Mall. Our friend Louis Lacow, Villicon,
Okay.
Right.
he has a shop there, a vintage shop there called Ducky's. And I mean, it's like a time capsule. You go in there and he's got, you name the era, he's got it. He's even got costume rentals and stuff. Basically, the whole mall is an event thing. It's like costumers with a cause will be the regulars there.
That's awesome. Lindsay and her group's amazing.
Yeah, they do a great job. I think you saw the picture of me with as the ambassador with the princesses. The lady that took the picture is a retired Disney costumer. So yeah, she had those costumes spot on. I've forgotten the names of a lot of the cons that are coming up. I know that Doug Jones is going to be doing a con here in Central Florida this year. And let's see, the Lego thing that John and I did the last week or so at Deezerland, we had quite a turnout. We nearly ran out of everything.
Cool.
I had the chair, so there were tons of people getting pictures in the chair. It's even been posted to the CAG site, so it's there for everyone to see. I'm trying to figure out what else we got coming up. We've got a few things coming up. I mean, you can go to Florida Cons, or Anime Cons. I know there's one coming up in July at the Rosen, and our friend Vic Mangana is going to be there.
Yep. And then he's going to be at that. When is that going to be?
That's going to be in July. I'm not, like I said, I don't have the specific dates on that, but it's probably going to be pretty busy. I'll definitely be there.
Drew, those would work, but instead of $22, the same amount is $4.
Where?
Timu.
Hmm?
Timu has 120 for $4.
If you're talking about August 3rd, they won't make it here in time.
Yeah, they will.
Hmm.
We got a month and a half. I'm going to be ordering them midnight for that particular thing. Did y'all
Any of
hear
the
this?
sporting good outfits will be, they sell the big canisters of the orange or bright colored disposable earplugs that form to your ear canal,
Right.
and you can get those at any of those places. I see you have the pain inducing or reducing device.
Drew and Mike
Excellent.
made these for Sci-Fi Barca next year because we're billionaire.
Yes, Starfleet is going to be from the Mirror Universe.
So
They're
yeah,
with a holster, magnetically held on.
Nice.
they did a great job. Drew and Mike did an awesome job. So I just wanted to share that.
Wow.
Did y'all hear that there's not only is there going to be in November the Sorting Hat con, but there is actually going to be, they haven't announced exactly when or where, there will be an international or intergalactic flea market coming up.
At the staff meeting, that we will get all the information on the intergalactic.
I'm just
Great.
mentioning it. Look for in November in Bartow area, somewhere in around Bartow. There's going to be an international, intergalactic.
I do know in response to, as Mark would say it, a friend of all of us, the Intergalactic Trading Post will be there. So
Awesome.
Great.
So that's another event that, like I said, the group that we work with does these events to help out, raise money for the community, and do stuff that is sci-fi related or in Sorting Hat, Harry Potter related, cons. And so we're at
sci-fi, fantasy, the whole 9 yards. We cover it and we go.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this because it's something different than the everyday thrift. How can we say this? The thrift flea market type setups that normally pop up. So it sounds like it's going to be more sci-fi related.
And it will be an indoor event.
Oh, it is going to be indoor. So, like I said, another event coming up in November. So something else to look forward to. Whole county's kind of getting busy now. Let's see.
And they got 2 others in the work after that, but I can't say anything past that.
Yeah. So August 3rd, most of the people on this panel, are you coming to Sci-Fi BartowCon, Dan?
Yes, I am going to be going. Whether or not I am bringing Hal, which was my potential plans from when I went last year, is going to depend on what the guest list looks like. If there is somebody that I want photos of Hal with, then I'll bring them down. Otherwise, I'll just be there in my uniform.
The
You
guest
also
list.
asked about other conventions between now and I think you said in August. I am going to Florida SuperCon, which is, I'm just going for Saturday as it stands right now, unless I can work something out with leaving Hal there between the convention days, then I might go all 3. And then Southwest Florida Space Con has already passed, so I think that's the only one aside from BartoCon between now and Dragon Con.
Yeah. Okay. We know who's coming to BartoCon. Let me pull up that guest list real quick. We know Vic will be there.
Yep. Already been verified.
That's a given. Trying to find it. Okay.
Oh, I've already got it pulled up. So far, it doesn't particularly look like anybody that's there so far is going to be me bringing Hal down, but if they release more guests, then potentially.
Okay. Well, if you do end up bringing Hal, let us know and we'll arrange for a parking spot in the booth. That way, anytime you're not driving Hal around, there's a spot where it can sit with the table.
Sounds good, and I appreciate it. And if I do bring him down, I'll make sure to bring his uniform as well.
Right.
So, I know there's Disney animators. There's the original. I can't find it. My brain is not working.
Do you need me to send you the link?
We've got Vic. We've got Jack O'Holland.
The Superman villain.
Chris Zagoza.
Yeah.
Chris is from Transformers and Fast and Furious. John Carmichael, stuntman from Smallville. And Melanie Cohen, the original voice of Lucy for Peanuts.
Yeah.
They are all going to be a BartoCon.
Yeah, that's the list. So, and truthfully, like you said, with Vic, once the studio gets moved, I'm sure Vic will be visiting us on a monthly basis.
I certainly hope so.
Which means he'll probably be over at Drew's house, which will be an easy way to get his pictures with Hal. So, like I said, I was just asking if you were going to bring, because it's one of those things of planning ahead that we do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. I'm like, I have that open on the screen, but there we go. Yeah, those are the ones that are going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of want to talk to the animator, which isn't.
I want to talk to him as well. There's some questions I have, and I know he can answer them. And I've been told I'm more than welcome to ask.
Oh,
the questions that I might not ask is, were you the one that put the bad stuff in there?
God only knows, right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Kind of like Aladdin's the palace's phallic symbol that was outlined inside of the palace out exterior.
Yeah, that's kind of a legend, an ugly legend among the animators. The guy knew he was getting fired, and yeah, the rest is history. They tried like crazy to recall all the lobby cards, the posters. They got most of the VHSs and stuff back, but they didn't get anything.
I had one of those. I don't have it anymore, but I had one of the originals.
Nice.
Yeah, the originals are. Yeah, weirdly, they're worth a lot of money.
And then the cuss word involved on what was it? Lion King, or was it sex? It said sex. That was the one in Lion King.
So, quick about the VHS tapes. If you see people selling them, especially if they label the Disney ones as Black Diamond and try and charge like $200 for it, they're just upcharging just to upcharge. People don't actually.
Yeah.
And those who do are being fooled into buying it because they think that it's worth that much. I'm actually in a few VHS collector groups and have my own collection, so
Yeah.
you can find it at the thrift store for like $1.
Right.
You just
You'll
smile politely.
The ones that slip through their crafts, you will find them. Like Bartow Community Center, you might find them. Which Bartow Community Center is a food bank that has a thrift store. That all the proceeds from the thrift store either pay the employees or it goes to buying more food for the community. One of the big contributors of that community center food bank is actually Publix of Bartow, and also all 40 of the churches can actually donate to that one community center, so that there is a central hub where homeless and down on their luck people can go. I think it's 2 times a week. I think it's Tuesday and Thursday that they actually serve hot food out of that kitchen. So this is one of the organizations that all of the cons that we've been talking about in Central Florida that Bartow Con LLC actually works with. And Lori, the owner of Bartow Con LLC, is actually one of the employees at the community center now. So
Yes, they
every once in a
definitely
while,
practice what they preach.
yep, and every once in a while she'll post like they had a hardwood. By Jeff.
Yeah,
he
put a
put it
message
in
in the
private.
chat.
Okay, no problem. She actually posted this week for $100. There was a hardwood bed frame, which that hardwood bed frame, if you buy it new, is probably about $3,000 or $4,000 because it was nice. It could be either a full or a queen size. She's posted all types of stuff that were lower priced.
She posted an antique desk a month ago, and I swear Carol and I both were dying to get our chomps on it, but it was gone before we got there.
I was going to say, as soon as I see the picture, I'm like, damn, I kind of want to drive out and get that. 5 minutes later, it's fun. But like I said, anything you buy there, I bought a pair of pants, very reasonable price as far as there's a thrift store near Drew that same pair of pants would have went for $15. And
wait. Wrong one.
Oops, you're pulling up the thrift store now?
No.
Oh.
We've talked about Sean and Lori and everything they do for all of us fans. These two are the ultimate workaholics for all of us. The lady and the gentleman in the Syfy Bartow shirts, that is Sean and Lori Serdowski, and those two are incredible.
Yeah.
And they will bend over backwards for us. They have done so much just for the cosplay community. Without them, I think this whole area would be kapoosh.
It'd be a bad plan.
The only reason why I went to Bartow before was to go to the courthouse once a century.
Yeah.
Basically, I need a piece of document. Where can you get it? Only at Bartow. Great. But there's so much going on with them. And like I said, they are actually working to build small businesses up. They're focusing on community centers, community theater, prehistoric con. Most of that money actually goes to the Gym Theater, which is a small community center that the city runs. These are always fun activities. The vendors are amazing. We get on the outdoor cons, we get a lot of cosplayers that we get to meet that are amazing. Hey, I went the right way. Like Dan over here. We met him, 3 years ago. Or was it 4?
What's that?
It was Sci-Fi Barto of 2022, I think.
Okay, so 3 years ago, because the Daleks were right down the. No. You met us when we were over near the. We were in the middle of nowhere.
Danny met us at the same con that had Tracy Coco and Chase Masterson, and
I thought she met us.
he was
at Sci-Fi
directly
Barto.
across from us and over 2 tables. Well,
Okay.
Okay,
We
met
need to
me
get
because I sat and talked to him for, I don't know, him and Hal for about an hour.
Yep.
The space con. Oh my lord.
Good morning.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together because I walked over and talked to them as well. Oh, that's
I
where we
remember
met.
we met at Sci-Fi Barto. We've met at Central Florida Space Con and
Neutral Zone
I'm-
Studios.
well, yeah, I'm talking about
And
a while
Well,
ago. I know
the
it was
one
Central
in
Florida
Lakeland,
Space Con.
the year after the Space Con, you
Southwest Florida
talked
Space
to
Con.
Mike and I in Lakeland because
Yeah, I
Sean
remember that.
couldn't make it. Sean was working.
So the origin story is you go to these cons, you meet great people, and you become friends over time. And actually, like I said, I think we talked for almost 2 hours at Sci-Fi Barto.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And I
So-
still make it a point to come and stop by every time I'm there.
In the last 2 years, there's
And I
a
make it a
picture
point to look for you, so does Sean.
of Dan somewhere in there. As a matter of fact, I went before the con started this year, and I walked down to the Dalek booth because it was basically across from where I first did Sci-Fi Barto, across from the ice cream shop. I'm looking everywhere because last year the Dalek booth was, oh, there they are.
Yep.
So I went and looked, and it wasn't Dan, it was the other 2
Scully and
guys.
Karina.
Yeah. And not Hal was there. The your other Dalek was there without the wheels.
Ren. Yep.
Ren was there, and it couldn't move because you forgot the clips for it or something.
I forgot the bolts. They were in, I call it my Dalek box. It's just my toolbox with all my Dalek stuff. I was thinking, oh, I'm not bringing Hal down, so I don't need my Dalek box. Completely forgot that I didn't take out the bolts for the fender so that he could actually roll around, so he was fenderless for the con.
So, funny story about that. Remember we have that big white tent? When we took it down last year, the tarp was packed in a different box altogether. So
Yes.
we packed up my truck with everything and Drew's truck with everything we needed the night before, and we didn't have the tarp. So we start putting everything together, and I looked and went, where's the tarp and everything else?
So I call Mike and tell him because he was on his way, go get the tarp. Swing by the house, pick up the tarp. It's somewhere in the garage.
I have
Which,
a tarp
by the way,
about,
it's packed, marked, and ready to go.
I had a tarp about the size of Hal. And we were covering everything we could with that because it was still sprinkling. And I'm like, oh, this is just great. We don't have the tarp. We don't know where it is. Fortunately, Mike found it within seconds. So,
Well,
But-
apparently Carol was looking for it before Mike left because I did tell Carol. So Carol's like, it's right there.
yeah. But so you forgot the bolts. We forgot the tent. But in all honesty, we set up so much faster this year than last year that I got to actually walk before the con, an hour before the con. So I didn't. Last year we were still setting up an hour after the con started. So,
Oh, man.
like I said,
Yeah, but last year, let's see. Yeah, in 23 we had 5 for a setup crew and 4 kept being yanked off to help elsewhere.
Right.
No matter where we turned around, somebody was being called off somewhere else.
Basically, me and Drew were setting up the booth after we set up the tent, and the other ones were setting up other people's booths. And it was like, where'd everybody go? I know we brought people.
Yeah.
They've all wandered off.
This year we
But
actually had help from the other chapters came early to actually help us set up, which was amazing. The difference.
That's how SFI became tied in so tightly with Sean and Lori. It's because we're willing to step out and help. CAG, we all joined CAG, and now CAG steps out and just runs out and just starts helping. So we're basically dear and true to them because we don't mind. When we were at Polycon, we startled everybody because walking through, if someone was doing either the bathroom dance or I'm starving look, we go, okay, we got your booth for about 10 minutes. Go get something to eat. And
or the people coming up, how can I get in the building? I don't have a ticket.
And that's what we do at every con we go to.
What was funny was the paid security had no idea where the ticket booth was.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I'm like,
Wild West.
where's the ticket booth? I'm like, is it that purple thing that says tickets across the bridge?
They have,
my favorite was Mark. Mark had just finished putting his hat on, and somebody was asking the security guard where the person with the 3D printing of you was at, and yet he did not know. And Mark goes, right there in that trailer.
Oh, dude, that little 3D printing trailer is awesome.
He answered 4 times faster than I could because I was just shocked that the security guard said, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. The I don't know was 17 times in a row. Literally, where's the bathroom? I don't know. The bathroom was literally behind them 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
He was protecting the building that had the bathroom closest.
I'm a former Disney person, so we always know where all the facilities are because people are constantly wandering around lost in space.
So we're just all sitting here. We did everything we could. We communicated quite heavily. We made sure people were aware of who we were, who we represented. And when we were getting ready to leave, the coordinator for the event came up and said, okay, I need contact information for whoever's in charge of this. So I gave him my business card. I said, that would be me. We're coordinating here in Polk County. And he goes, okay, next year you guys are indoors. I'm giving you I'm giving you your own room. And we want you to have a panel and explain that this is the proper way to do this for people who are here at cons and events. But when you put yourself out there, it may seem like an inconvenience at first, but when you start doing that as a group, you're no longer just a good person to have around. Everybody wants some of you there.
Yeah.
So we've
Plus
grown.
We bring a lot of experience from different events.
Yeah, the guys in Lakeland may be calling us again too, Mark. But they'll get hold of John.
By the way, that last event that John and I and Jeffrey was there, and our friends from my old ship, the Haven, was there. We were more popular than the Makazi group, the 501st Makazi group. Here's something odd that happened with them. They were there on Saturday, but they were nowhere to be found on Sunday. And that was rather disconcerting to John because you know what other group he's with. He's basically Lord Vader in the Makazi group.
Right.
They had another Lord Vader there to fill in, but he was just shaking his head. He said somebody should have been there.
Yeah.
because I went over a couple of times, and so did Jeffrey. So we were making sure that they hadn't left anything behind, and you know, make sure people weren't trying to mess around with stuff over there or anything. And it turned out that the stuff was there. One of the Lego creators had made legend lightsabers out of Lego. It just blew our minds, and a couple of them actually lit up. So we're making sure that people weren't walking off with them, because they had one.
Hasn't come up with a light up phaser made out of Legos or something.
Yeah, not that horrifying piece of stuff that Hasbro came out with. I wouldn't have given you $1 for that thing. If they just simply come out with the Cobra phaser and the phaser rifle, it would have been great. Not that Borgified thing, whatever the heck that was. I'm still shaking my head about that one.
The Cracker Box phaser. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it's a single shot nerf pistol. It's not even very good. How about 36 feet per second? That's it. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get 70 out of something that small. So
no, it's just going to go
so small that you can't put a spring of any value in it.
Yeah, you do better throwing it at your enemy or something.
I can do that.
Yep. Throw, scream and run. Nah. Oh my goodness. Now it was just a mystery why they weren't there. But we did a lot of photo ops over in that. They actually had a galactic backdrop. It was like a star field with a lot of the attendees there, and people were going.
Any of you close by, I do want to put this out. Mm-hmm. We will be building a agony booth.
Ooh. Are we going to do a selection of music for it?
Syfy Barzo. I've already got the sound recorded.
Nice.
It'll be some photo ops, and I will need help.
Okay.
It won't take up much room, though. Thank God. Collapse.
The one that Kim designed back in the Volcon and Away mission days, to raise funds or donations. Believe it or not, it was made out of the bifold closet doors, the wooden ones. They were just simply painted up in Klingon-esque colors. They had to pay the guests that were put in the booth. They play like really, bad music. Like what was the most popular one? Believe it or not, was oh God, what was it? I think we had the Macarena. There were people fighting to get out of there. How much do you want? You can have it. We raised a lot. I forgot for what cause we did it for, but we raised a lot of money. They had like Perry Como does Metallica, things like that. God, it's kind of scary. Hey, it worked.
I think October 12th. If you don't have something going on, I think it's October 12th. The birthday party?
Yeah.
My
little Tori will be turning 31.
Oh my!
So if
you're gonna come, bring your inner pirate. This is what we're gonna make.
Very nice. The improved
Nice.
model.
That shouldn't be too hard. Other than
No. The
Okay.
biggest problem there's going to be with this is getting the manpower to assemble.
the biggest problem with that is I'm going to have to bring the trailer this year.
The bottom's going to be double layer foam, and the top's going to be foam, and then it's going to be basically lightweight wood framed PVC paneling. The rest of it's just going to be clear pieces of tubing.
Yeah.
It'll actually collapse and go into my truck.
Okay, but your truck's normally just as
Designed
full
for
as
that.
mine.
It's designed for that. We'll see what happens when it's assembled.
Okay. That little that little gun thing you want to do for JR's wheelchair. I just had
Yes.
a thought.
Hmm.
That the other way. Turn JR into a Dalek.
I would love to do that.
Because I was just thinking that little pool toy looks almost like the one arm of the Dalek.
I know, right?
I'm like, that would be the perfect little wheelchair style costume.
Well, basically, that's what a lot of over the years, a lot of the Dalek creators, they did use basically the power chairs as a base.
He's
Just-
not.
it just-
That is exactly what a lot of us use. And if it's not those, then it's the motorized mobility scooters. Though the wheelchair is a little bit easier to adapt because the handle is smaller or the controller is smaller rather than having the handle in there. So
Mhm.
Hal is
Little joystick, yeah.
motorized wheelchair, and Bren will be once I get a larger trailer.
This is
Nice.
JR.
Yep. And he is, I tell you what, he is fired up to be involved with everything here, which is what I love to see.
He unfortunately he lives in a facility because he does need assistance.
And
Yes.
it's out of our way. It would
Right.
take us 3 hours to go get them. Basically,
No.
for Bartow.
We took him
Well-
to the barbecue, and it's only an hour and 6 minutes to him.
Oh, okay. That's still a little bit of a ways, but
But see, Jess was a few miles away. I'm working with Jess now to see if Jess can pick him up and bring him to Bartok or Sci-Fi Bartok, because Jess is probably coming.
okay.
I want to get him out. I want him to have some fun.
Right.
Like I said, unfortunately, when we do cons, we have to set up for the con because we bring most of the booth.
Right.
So it's
A real fun thing for Mark to know. If you'll notice, he was in a TOS Klingon uniform.
Yes.
Yes, at a Starfleet barbecue. The only he single-handedly came in and took it over the event. That, by the
I
way,
think
there
there's
is an award for
there's
that.
a battle match that John is going to make sure he gets. Okay.
Yes, there is an award for that. I
one of
was so tickled when he showed up, and he has been calling me every day wanting to know when is he coming out the next time.
the best thing
Yep.
was he sent me a message. It was nice to meet you. And I'm like, no, not like me.
And well, Austin picked him up, put him in the car, put him in his chair, all by himself, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're strong."
But it was nice to see him actually out at an event. So
Yeah.
I couldn't make it again. Sometimes some of these events I can't make if I'm not planning ahead.
And he's had
Okay,
some
buddy.
troubles.
We got your back. Don't worry. Okay.
He's had some health issues, and
Yeah.
just recently. So since everything's been so good, and he's been given a double thumbs up by his medical staff, or well,
Mhm.
medical team. The
Yeah.
camp purchased his 2024-2025 dues for Starfleet.
Nice.
Well,
That's friends. Really
when
good
everything's
friends.
paid for, he only gets $49.80 for working the month.
Yeah.
That's not much. Actually, that's nothing. Most of
Yeah.
us blow that at one dinner. So
Mhm.
I don't care about throwing him $10. I'll do it every year if I have to. He's a good guy. He loves the sci-fi. He loves the cosplay. He loves being with people.
Mhm.
And just so you know, Dan, he does absolutely adore the dock. So he likes the Delic. So I threatened to put him in one, and he said, "Does it have a motor?"
Yes, it does. I am not going to be Flintstoning around a 300-pound Dalek.
I
No.
said, "Yes, it does." He's like, "I'll drive it."
No,
So,
no. That would
so
be
if you
an
ever need a driver,
awesome.
I've got one for you. It's in Tampa.
Noted.
I'm just thinking that would be an awesome actual cosplay, a Flintstone version of a Dalek.
I
See,
That
think
would be
you'd
a
have to make his out
adaptation.
of corrugated PVC. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying the bottom half or the bottom foot and a half, all
Mhm.
you see is the wheels, and you see the feet standing down on the bottom.
That reminds me of the behind the
He
scenes
can't move
story.
his legs at all. Just so you know.
You guys do know that they have the at Deezerland. This guy collected everything from the movies they could get his hands on. He's got the cars from the Flintstones movie there,
Jeez.
Uh,
Interesting.
I'd
including the
like to get.
the Maserati.
I would like to get with Dan at some point to make a delic for JR out of corrugated PVC
Oh,
because it would be very lightweight. It could fit over his wheelchair, and he can even do the manual operation. I
Yeah.
just think it would give him something to have a blast with.
oh heck yeah, that would be awesome.
And
I
his laugh
literally
is
was,
very contagious. I will warn you. It is very contagious.
now we need
Yeah,
to
I
figure out what to
when
shoot out of
the
the gun.
That's okay. I should make Mark walk over here so that he can help me put together the bird of prey to go over his wheelchair.
That would be cool.
Actually, they did one for a couple of years in a row with somebody with a mobility unit. This guy literally, he worked with his friends, and they built a bird of prey that the framework fit over his mobility unit. The thing looked bloody awesome.
Well, we've got to make it so that it's ultralight because JR
Right.
cannot afford a power chair.
I'm
Right.
just saying, I don't think Mark heard the key word to that phrase.
WALK, Mark.
Over.
Whiskey Alpha Lima Kilo.
That's
I'll
a
keep my
long
eye
walk.
because you guys may not know this, but I was here in Central Florida for 15 years. I was with Lions International, and I was the guy that MacGyvered and fixed up all the medical stuff that came in, like walkers and wheelchairs. And I know enough about electric wheelchairs to be dangerous.
Well, if you know someone that can get one to him, I will give you his address and his name.
I've been perusing things like Marketplace, and I've been checking a lot of the yard sales and estate sales around here.
He's got cerebral palsy. It is so bad. They've actually considered twice removing his legs.
Yeah.
He makes
It's
nothing a month. What medical he does have will not cover a chair. Will not. There are things. And he's almost 40.
Yeah.
He's young. And he's a member of 2 clubs that work to help others. And he actually contributes to services in his facility. Well, I think maybe the club should try to figure out a way to help him.
I'm keeping my eyes open for them. I'm going to just say that. Okay.
Okay.
I know
If I
the
can.
condition of it, but you guys mentioning that, I just went and checked Marketplace, and I do see one that is currently listed, electric wheelchair free in Brandon, Florida.
I know a place where you can get batteries for a deep discount. Simi. It's over on Armstrong Drive. It's actually it's the Buena Vista outfit. They have the contract for Disney, and if you can get the chair, I can go with you to that place. We can get a deep discount on the batteries.
Nice.
How about that?
I just found another one that's listed. That one's Fort Lauderdale, though. That's another free
Ooh.
electric wheelchair. And speaking of batteries, it says needs new batteries.
Yeah, they usually do, but it depends upon how you
Okay.
know how.
The one in Brandon he'd have trouble with. Most of the atrophying in his spinal muscles has him an arched back, and he can't move his arms forward really far.
So he needs a regular wheelchair.
Okay. Well, I did find it.
Or just an arm control scooter.
Yeah, all you need is, well, he can use his hands. All he needs is
Yes.
the joystick. That's what's
Yeah,
standard
and
in the.
choice.
Yeah, I
That's
just
all I
found
need.
one that does have a joystick.
Okay, well there you go. Believe it or not, a lot of batteries can be rejuvenated too. It
I'd
just
like to get
depends.
him a Echo Rover all-terrain wheelchair with treads instead of wheels, just so that he can be diabolical.
Do you have stock in the company?
No, I mean, they're flipping 10 grand.
Yeah, well, Porsche Design actually approached the VA about a chair that could actually traverse upstairs. You didn't need a ramp. But that was 15 years ago, and they couldn't get the cost down. And yeah, it's Porsche. That's German. It means it was over-engineered. So I don't think it got any further than the prototype. It looked great, though. Hey, it's a German thing, you know?
Well,
They love their
those
tech.
crowds. They overthink everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe
They got to the moon without them.
You expect me to drive 5 hours to go pick that sucker up?
are we allowed to collect money to buy stuff like that at these type of events? Because we're not technically a 501c3.
Well, a lot of times it depends upon what condition the batteries are in.
No, I'm talking about
In
raising
that case-
funding.
In this case, it would be the same as a GoFundMe. It is to grant the ability to use something that he generally doesn't have access to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Or-
concerned
or-
with his safety. I mean, the back,
thing. Yeah.
his regular chair is one of those with the hard shell back that has to wrap his rib cage. So he actually cradles in it loosely, so he's not uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But he would need something that would fit in, that would hold that back piece.
Yeah.
Well, they do make adaptive pads, and
we help so many people and so many organizations. There's no reason we can't help our own.
right.
And I can't speak for anybody else, but you're looking at a guy who is absolutely sick of people saying, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
10 cents can do a lot of difference in somebody's life if they don't have anything.
Mhm.
yep.
And if you're over 40, there's a 99% chance you've been there before. You know what it feels like.
Yeah.
I just thought of something, Drew.
What's that?
Maybe ask Lori to let us know if the thrift store might have one come in to see.
I'm first on her contact list if one shows up.
Yeah,
And that was
there's a
before
shop.
I met her.
Because I looked at those, and what you just said, neither one of those would actually fill the need because of the way it was set up.
Oh, the quantum chair and lift. Wow. And the lift, $800. That's not bad. I ain't going to Central Hill. No, sorry.
However, I did look at the marketplace. Yeah, that $10,000 one that's got the track system.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying. That's what I'd love to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, with that, we could make him be
awesome.
the robot from Lost in Space.
B9?
Danger, Will
B9.
Robinson. Danger, danger.
Yeah.
No,
He'd enjoy
that
it
would
too much. It would be completely
Oh,
uncontrollable.
absolutely.
Money.
That's okay. We go figuring it's a wheelchair that's going to fold. But because of the solid strong back cradle that he has to use, it doesn't fold.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in Mike's car.
Oh crap!
So we put it in the trunk, and then we literally bungee corded it into place, which was actually quite funny because a police officer making his regular rounds pulled into the parking lot, and he just stopped and watched us like, what the? Because, and here he is dressed like a Klingon sitting in the wheelchair, and then it's sitting in the car. It's like, what is going on here?
Just visiting this planet.
Yeah, so we told him, I said, we're just trying to make a difference. It's one of the things that our groups do, and we explained who we were. And he's like, that sounds pretty cool. You got a business card or something? And I had a Klingon coin, and I handed it to him, and on the back it's syfy.org and gag.org. I said that we're not the only ones, but if you're into sci-fi, there's tons of us out here.
Mm-hmm.
But the end goal of us, I think, really should be make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we don't have to make a difference to the entire planet, but we can make the planet a better place for one person.
Right.
Okay, no smacking the phone. I know how it is. I got a chance to smack it for a second. Yeah, I see how. I got you.
Yeah.
Busted, Marco.
Well, it's I tell you what, I've lost track of how many cons I've been to. You know me.
Yeah.
Or fantasy, anime.
I don't think there's anything we don't cover in this group on the screen right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
If they had just a literary one, I'd be into that. You've seen my library, Mark.
Yep.
And that's only half of what I have. The rest of them are still boxed. So
Yeah.
JR is skinny enough to do the Johnny Five costume.
That would be cool.
who are we giving a Johnny Five?
I was just thinking that track one would be awesome. I'm gonna real quick do this. We are wrapping up to answer that question, Dave. Normally we do about an hour and 15 minutes at most.
All right.
One of these.
Yeah, but
I'm just thinking that if we got the track system, something like this.
Oh,
Number 5 is alive.
no, disassemble.
He
I
took
was just
apart a
going,
vintage.
I saw the track one. I'm like, Johnny Five, I'm alive.
You know the Mega
disassemble.
RC tanks?
Yeah.
We should find one of those and turn the cherries got into something that we can run on a remote control. Hey, JR, come here.
Actually,
But
we
yes,
actually
I
make
would do that.
They actually make a adaptive motor unit.
You talked over each other.
Oh,
We repurposed the Horta from the Haven.
That's not big enough to carry him.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Needs to handle at least 200 because of the chair.
Yeah.
So we're still
actually,
looking.
they make an adaptive motor unit that snaps onto a regular wheelchair. But the problem
Yes, I
is
know, but
it's a couple of grand.
It's
yeah, but
also
see,
it's also a motorcycle style setup.
you know, it's also for a motorcycle type, not a wheel on each side.
Yeah.
No. The adapter it turns the front of it looks like a little motorcycle.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah. Okay, so we have been going for an hour and 15 minutes. We've covered all sci-fi. We've covered cons. We've covered everything but gaming. Real quick, at Sci-Fi Barker, there will be a game room. So bring your dice or buy some while you're there, because there will be some D&D going on in that game room from what I understand. So
Oh, yeah.
Now we've covered all of our bases because we've done community service, we've done cosplay, we've done cons, and we've done sci-fi. Our main premise of this. Thank you for joining us, Stan. You're always welcome. The next show will be the first Friday of July. We are working on eventually starting a Klingon podcast for CAG. Eventually. Look for that in the future. And we're going to need to set up a page and get 100 followers so we can go live on Facebook again. So these are all things in the future.
And our next one, Tiffany will be at. Dan, you met Tiffany at the studio.
Yeah.
She'll come to the next show. Yes, I've been inviting people without telling you.
No, I'm trying to think if I know Tiffany.
No.
Okay. I'm like, I don't think I've met a Tiffany yet, but that's cool. We'll have another guest. Remember, you check out Mark. He's going to be at Oviedo Mall tomorrow for a con. I think Dan said his next con is not
July 13th for Florida SuperCon, and Hal will be there.
Go check out Hal and get a picture with the Klingon Hal, which will eventually be part of the USS Haven's crew.
Nana's going to be there, and I can't go.
No, she's going to be at Ancient City Con. That one's in September.
Okay, that's the one I got to get to. I've got to find a way.
Yeah. Florida SuperCon, that one's going to have David Tennant.
Yeah, you better not call it Nana. You better call it Nana, because she will correct you.
You might want that though. So check out Dan and Hal at that con, and then we'll all be at Sci-Fi Bartow on August 3rd, and I believe
we'll all be at BartowCon on August 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
It's all Sci-Fi Bartow. BartowCon. We will all be there. Come check us out. There is a very diverse group of guests that will be in the VIP room, and we will be inside, and Starfleet will be kind of roaming as part of the security team. So come check us all out and join us. And then after that, if you're going to Dragon Con, make sure you get with Dan there as well. So take lots of pictures. If you have pictures, send them in. We'll post them on the show. I'll make a TikTok slideshow like I've been doing and post that as well. So have a great day and live long and prosper. And